Sales, profit, and engagement na naman ang usapan. Hey guys, Matt and Lance here. Corporate guys rin kami at pagod na rin kami sa ganyang usapang office. Ibahin naman natin ang mga kausap natin. Listen to guests from careers beyond the corporate scene with the Project Offbeat Career Podcast. Imagine talking to historians, gamers, teachers, and the like on how they live differently and succeed in their unconventional careers. Baka sakali, ito naman ang sign to pursue your passions. Kita-kits sa Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Hi, this episode is not suitable for everyone. Parental guidance is advised. We are Bunk Collective.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. Alright, let's do this. I got my bottle of water because sobrang init. Alam mo yun? Kahit may fan ako, may aircon. Ang init pa din. No? Ayun, so welcome to the podcast. Stay hydrated. As always, sobrang init ngayon here in the Philippines. I hope you guys are still intact on everything pro wrestling or everything inside and outside of the ring. So I hope you all are safe. Okay. So umpisahan natin tong podcast this week since ito na yung ating prelude before WrestleMania. So most likely we're going to discuss the predictions next week on our podcast this Friday, episode 155 or 56. Kung ano may mangyayari. Let's see. Marami tayong i-discuss next week. Kasi hindi lang WrestleMania mangyayari next week. It's gonna be Supercard. It's gonna be the multiverse. Tapos yung takeover pa na Stand and Deliver. We're going to discuss that in our episode this next week. Pero for this week, it's gonna be tight as well. Kasi pag-uusapan natin yung match between Vikingo and Kenny Omega from yesterday's Dynamite. Then, sige, pag-usapan na natin yung pagbabalikan ni KO at ni Sami Zayn. And then, yun. Okay, let's start the podcast. Start nga tayo with the CM Punk. Okay. I brought my papers. I wrote it. I wrote it minutes before the show. So, eto. So, CM Punk, he post a Instagram story. Dinilit niya din 2 minutes after he posted it. Pero wala, it's a very typical Punk. Okay. So, basahin natin yung naging story niya. So, I wasn't cleared to compete or to come back to wrestle yet. Then, plan was to wrestle the pay-per-view. I sat and listened to John Moxley's Rock 3 idea. Then Punk didn't see the Rocky movie. Well, there's a proof may proof si CM Punk. Nag-tweet siya before. And sinabi niya ulit dito. So Punk didn't see any Rock movie. So sinabi niya yung reference. Hindi niya pa rin nag-gets in context. So He thought that the idea sucked, but if the idea was from Tony Khan, or kung ang idea is from TK itself, then gagawin niya. Also, he said na he, he wouldn't lose to CM Punk, or John Moxley won't lose to CM Punk. I never experienced someone refusing losing to me. And he laughed. He asked Tony if he's okay with the idea na Rocky 3, and Tony Khan said yes. Pero, pero, hindi naman daw kailangan hindi naman kailangan ni Punk maging clear doon. Kasi ang match for that match, kung kailan pa nangyari yung match na to? Ito pa yung before the pay-per-view. Okay, so regardless, I'm reading the statement ulit. So, nangyari yung match weeks before the pay-per-view. And then, where's my paper? Oh, fuck. So, Tony Khan kept saying na hindi naman niya kailangan maging clear dito kasi the match is just for the formality na i-unify lang yung belts. Then, it's gonna be a squash match. So, he doesn't need to be cleared. And medyo nakaramdam na ng upset si CM Punk. And he said that my health is more important than that. He also called both Dave Meltzer and Chris Jericho a liar and a stooge. There were plans, and plans always change. But he will never put a company above my health ever again. Okay, context. Ito yung match from 2022 where CM Punk and Hangman Page fought for the unification. No, it's not Hangman Page. It's John Moxley. CM Punk and John Moxley fought for the unification of the belt. Diba, naalala nyo, nagkaroon ng unification for both AEW and the ano ba ito? AEW World Titles na Punk won the belt from Hangman. Then, since injured si CM Punk on that time, they had to crown a interim champion next pay-per-view Forbidden Door between Tanahashi and John Moxley. Then, ito na nga, nagkaroon na nga ng build-up tong unification which leads to CM Punk returning to the ring and John Moxley is the undisputed champion. And eventually, after that match, he dropped the title on the pay-per-view All Out and that's the end of CM Punk. So ito, I'll going to give my shot here. Ito, personally, hindi ko rin nakita yung movie. Hindi ko rin napapanood yung movie. I'll watch it this weekend. Probably. So, si CM Punk, okay naman siya sa idea kasi it was a Tony Khan plan. No? Ang hindi niya lang magets yung reference kasi hindi niya pa napapanood yung Rocky 3. Sa tanda mong yan, imposibleng hindi mo pa rin napanood yun. At this point, imposibleng hindi mo pa rin napapanood yung Rocky 3 yan, no? Ewan ko. Or even the other two, right? Pero okay. So, this is basically a CM Punk putting himself over. And I don't know if mag-agree ako kay CM Punk or mag-agree ako against him. Hindi ko rin alam. Kasi the idea looks dumb in the first place. So, putting that match on paper is just stupid as in. Daw mga paniwala rin na nangyari to last year. Daw mga paniwala nangyari to last year eh. Pero wala, it's part of the history now. This is one of the reasons why AEW will always be in a mod. And now, MJF is putting AEW on the mud, which is kind of funny because wala. Ang baba na naman ng ratings ng AEW. Ratings mean something for the TV broadcasters. In case of AEW, it's Warner Bros. Malaking bagay kasi yung ratings if may sense pa ba na magpalabas sila nung isang palabas tapos magko-continue pa ba kung nagwo-work pa yung programa, edi tuloy-tuloy natin. Kung hindi na nagwo-work sa tao yung programa, then wala tayong choice kundi cancel, 'di ba? Parang tropang LOL ito, example, tropang LOL. 'Di ba naalala nyo nagkaroon ng partnership ang Showtime, ABS-CBN and LOL ng Bright Light Productions. Nagkaroon sila ng partnership na 11 a.m. i-air ng lahat ng channels ni ABS at ni TV5. Si LOL at si Showtime back to back. Then, nagde-decline si LOL. So, rumored right now that LOL or Tropang LOL is ending this April. So, possibly, yung LOL mawala na sa ere, then babalik si Showtime 12 to 3 p.m. So, ganun na nangyayari. If AEW is declining, then they have to look for alternatives. Maybe they have to do something for their TV programs and they have to do something about it. Kung nagde-decline sila, then look for the solution. Right? Pero, yeah, fuck it. We're not going to discuss that long. Kasi napapalayo na tayo. Pero sabihin ko lang sa inyo, don't act like a fucking stooge. Huwag kayong gumaya kay CM Punk, I swear. I have no time talking about this. I think the best solution about this, don't listen to CM Punk. He's out of his mind right now. Hoy, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to your Unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. This is the MP Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast, episode number, holy shit, 154? Are you fucking kidding me? Today is episode 154. And we're only 8 days away to WrestleMania. Holy shit, it's 8 days before WrestleMania. Okay, so let's start the topics now. Again, follow the podcast on all of the socials at the MT Show Pod. And, syempre, supportahan nyo din Bang Collective at the Bang PH on all of the socials as well. So, while I'm drinking water, dahil sobrang init, like what I said, stay hydrated. Let's start with the Sami KO thing. So, apparently, Sami and KO is now together again after of that interaction at SmackDown when Cody Rhodes actually the one who pitched the idea that they need to team up once again. Ito na nga. So, KO declined at first and then he left the building. Pero medyo confusing to tong story na to with KO when he left the building, medyo confusing na yung story. Saan ka nagpunta nung time na umalis ka sa building? Like, hindi man siya pinakita sa TV. Until, papasok na si Solo, Sami, si KO. Then, ito na Usos. KO tuloy sinabi ko. Then KO arrived kasi 2-on-1 advantage na yun. 3 pa nga eh. Ay, 2 lang pala kasi Solo was brought by Paul Heyman before the show, no? Before the show ends. Then, so KO actually saved Sami Zayn from the Usos and eventually they hug it out. And Cody is laughing at the backstage. Like a fucking father. Na parang pinagbati mo yung dalawang anak mo na nag-aaway lagi. Tapos si Cody, yung tatay na tawa. Kasi he thinks na napagsundo nila yung mga anak niya. Ganon yung nangyari sa dalawa. And then on Raw, KO and Sami challenged the Usos for the tag titles at WrestleMania. So the match itself is set for WrestleMania na. Wala pang dates whatsoever. Siguro sana naman by Saturday magka-placings na ng cards for WrestleMania. No? Then yun na yun. Parang it's turning interesting but maraming factors na kailangan i-figure out about this story. Not only on this story, di rin dahil kay Roman at kay Cody, marami tayong kailangan i-factorize dito eh. Na like, balikan natin yung promo ni Cody at ni Roman this week's Raw. No? So, Roman and Cody did a fucking roast fest on this week's Raw. And maraming reference na Roman throwed Cody AW reference. Then, yung point na Cody left the promotion and then he started the company in AEW. Then, ito na nga, nagkaroon na nga ng dibs or disses about AEW. Which brings me to my point of view right now na, ba tawag dito? If Cody, ito na naman tayo sa puntong-punto na na Cody ay siningit lang. Ito na naman tayo eh. Pero ito, I'll bring this discussion to the scene. Kasi ito na rin yung naiisip ko for the past 2 weeks eh. Kasi 2 weeks eh, puro promo, no? Nagko-connect the dots na sila. Na mas nangingibabaw pa din talaga as the major face si Sami Zayn. Kasi nagko-connect the dots pa din. Si Sami, tinatry niya convincein si Jay if gusto niyang bumalik sa bloodline ni Sami. And he declined, right? Doon nag-promo na. Doon sa Ring of SmackDown. Then, ito si Roman is asking Jay if yung loyalty niya sa bloodline is still there. And he said yes. But he never said I love you back to his brother Roman Reigns. So medyo na siya eh. Medyo nagko-connect the dots na siya. Na to the point na, ano ba ang point dito ni Cody Rhodes on this way to WrestleMania? Na parang nagmumukhang side chick lang si Cody. And the main characters is still Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. And not Roman Reigns either. Roman Reigns and Cody are both side chicks on the story. And Sami the Usos, KO actually is a side chick. Pero, let's face it, the point of view ng WWE na right now is to compress story or to compress the storyline alone in different aspects. So that's why we have 2 matches na possibly maging main event. So, if the night 1 will be the Usos KO, the night 2 will be Roman and Sami Zayn pala, nakasalimutan ko. The night 2 will be Roman and Cody. Obviously, nagko-connect the dots to eh. Right? Yung the more na napag-figure out nila yung isang story or napag-connect nila in one story, itong kina KO and the Roman Reigns story at the main event spot. It doesn't mean na nagmumukha siyang nagmumukhang may sense. Kasi let's face it, the top guy in the company right now is still Sami Zayn and not Cody Rhodes. Then, there's another top guy in Cody Rhodes na si Sami Zayn parang someone's mindset nasasapawan. No? Parang nagmumukhang nasapawan ng ganun-ganun lang si Sami. So that's why WWE is doing their power or doing their fate para hindi siya masapawan ng tuluyan. Pero Pero ewan ko. We have still 2 episodes of Raw. And, hindi, 1 episode of Raw. 2 episodes of SmackDown. So, may faith naman ako kay Triple H na makapag-compress niya pa yung storyline or may explain pa nila yung story on those remaining episodes. Pero medyo sabihin ko na lang para medyo maklose natin kasi mahaba na tayo in 2 segments pa lang. Parang ang gusto ko iparating dito, sana mapag-compress nila ng tama yung magiging storyline nito. Kasi ang iniisip ko lang, baka hindi pa matapos tong Bloodline story after WrestleMania. Kasi if hindi pa siya matatapos after WrestleMania, then what's the point of everything? We are still running the story for almost a year now. Yes, it's interesting. Pero parang dumating na tayo sa point na nawawalan na siya ng lasa. The more na tinitikman mo yung pagkain, hindi mo alam, nauumay ka na. Andun yung parang pinapamukha mo na lang na nauumay ka na. Pero you don't want to say na umay ka na. Kasi you love how the storyline is building right now between KO, Sami Zayn, and now Roman Reigns. Andun na tayo sa point na yun. Pero let's see. There's still 1 episode of Raw, 2 episodes of SmackDown. Compress na lang nila. And we're good. Saka natin di-discuss yung iba pa after ng 2 episodes pa yun. Kasi di natin pa di-discuss dito yung sa pang SmackDown. Kasi obviously, WrestleMania na yun eh. Okay, let's continue with Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. The match was set for WrestleMania. And ito, I'll go in to say this once. Parang na-out of character na si Gunther. I know this is still a Triple H booking, but I think na Triple H is still booking Gunther outside of the Gunther or outside of the Walter gimmick. No? With the book pa rin siya outside of that gimmick. Kasi si Walter din naman ganito eh. Ibang-iba si Walter dito eh. Right? Sobrang ibang-iba siya as in. Na umaabot tayo sa point that Walter is supernatural at this point. Pero ito po siya. What kind of booking is this? Nagmukhang gago si Gunther when he inserted himself to the ring. Instead, he attacked both Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Yes, it's obvious that we're getting the triple threat at WrestleMania, but it's still dumb on how they made it official. Wala eh. Kailangan na nila mag-compress the stories eh. Wala tayong magagawa dito. It's regardless, it's a win-win for the three of them. Pero wala eh. Hindi ko rin alam kung sino ipipredict ko dito at this point. Right? Hindi ko rin alam. But yeah, let's continue with Rey Mysterio and Dom. So, I'll compress everything on one statement. Pero Rey Mysterio is still declining Dom's challenge for a WrestleMania match. And Dom, man, I don't know, but at this point forward, Dom Mysterio, man, napapa-impress niya ako lately. Si Dom kasi, alam mo yan, sobrang stooge nung gimmick niya. Especially nung kasama niya pa yung tatay niya na nagta-tag team. Tapos para kayong magtatay na ulol. Tapos na hindi nagwo-workout. So I'm glad Dominic is working on this heel turn right now. I'm glad he's working on this turn. And I'm good at it. Then, okay. So, i-point out pa rin natin na I'm still confused on what's going on right now. I'm still confused on the storytelling of that. Right now, at least for right now. Medyo confusing. Kasi at this point, dapat in-accept niyo na lang yung challenge. Eh. Pero, well, meron pa, sabi ko nga may 2 episode pa ng Raw. May SmackDown pa. And malalaman natin yung magiging result. Also, Dom said on Raw that both both Angie and Aliyah will be on SmackDown this Friday. So, siguro, makikita na natin yung challenge talaga. Kasi, pipersahin niya na yung nanay niya. Para magkaroon si Dom ng match at WrestleMania. Parang naalala ko tuloy yung kay Grayson Waller tsaka kay Johnny Gargano. Which is very personal. Mas personal pa siya sa ibang storyline sa main roster. Yun yung na-observe ko so far. Mamaya discuss natin sa NXT portion. Then, ano pa ba? So, there will be 2 WrestleMania showcase matches. One for the men and one for the women. Yung women's side, hindi pa kompleto. So, probably magkakaroon pa ng matches for that. So, it's Liv and Raquel filing for the women for now. Then, probably tomorrow, there will be one more. And then, Raw and SmackDown. So, and so forth. Then, on the men's side, there's Street Profits, the Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy, / MMM, Maximum Male Models because of the Otis storytelling. Then, Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Okay, ang concept lang nitong WrestleMania showcase na to, parang sa Wrestle Kingdom, na may mga random tag team matches na may made official days before the show. Parang pang kick-off pa. Pero ito sa WWE din nila ilalagay sa kick-off. So, yeah, it's good. Maganda din sana tong kick-off to kasi wala akong pakialam kung kick-off lang siya. Pero it's WrestleMania. You can watch the kick-off of the whole thing not only on tawag ba dito? Hindi lang sa sa Disney Plus. Kailangan mapapanood din natin yung mga matches as well on their social platform. So, it's a smart thing din if ilalagay nila to sa YouTube. Showcase to So, basically, kailangan mapakita natin talaga kung the matches are great ba or impressive or the competitors are impressive as hell. Then, we should deal with that. Right? Then, ito, continue natin. So, like what I said, sinabi ko na kanina yung kay Roman at saka kay Jey Uso. He never said, I love you to Roman back. And yeah, and according to Roman and Paul Heyman, Roman got the answer. And ewan ko what's the answer is. I think ito yung sinasabi ni Jey weeks back na wala na siyang pakialam sa bloodline. May pakialam siya sa kapatid niya. Then, yun. So be it. Then, okay, so 2 weeks in a row, or 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, I think, Seth Rollins is still down and out thanks to Logan Paul. He knocked out twice within this month. There's an Impulsive TV live on Raw. Then, Logan Paul hosting Impulsive TV. Seth Rollins interrupt. Then, they got into brawl. Also to note, this match is set for WrestleMania Saturday. So yeah, it's gonna be good for our WrestleMania this year. Sana bumalance. Sana talaga bumalance siya sa cards for our WrestleMania this year. Then, at this point, medyo confused na ako kay Rhea Ripley kung ano ba yung role niya dito. Rhea Ripley is a clear heel when she announced that Charlotte will be her opponent. And on her Judgment Day run, on her Judgment Day run, she's always a heel. Right? Heel siya lagi doon. Pero now, sorry about that. Pero as of now, Rhea Ripley is working as a, tao dito, she's working as a twinner na as of late. Di na siya ganong umano kay Charlotte, and she fought Bailey, a super heel, which is puts me into a lot of confusion at this point. I hope na match between Rhea and Charlotte is gonna be a face versus face at some point. Then, ayun, this would be it. Magte-turn si Rhea as a heel ulit, joining Judgment Day, or maybe Judgment Day will turn as a heels then, or faces at some point to replace the Bloodline as the top stable in WWE. Then, ano pa ba? So, okay, last thing to talk about, two things pa pala, sorry. So, number one, si Otis ay binibihag na ng maximum male models. Then, medyo confusing pa din kay Otis if he will join the stable. But he still, he joined Chad Gable for this match versus Ricochet after of that same segment. Then, ayun nga, binihag siya ulit ni Maxine Dupree on that same segment. So, what's the meaning of this segment ba? At this point ba si Otis ay official member na ng Maximum Male Models? Hindi natin alam. Malalaman natin in coming weeks pa. Siguro may isang week pa bago natin malaman yung sagot sa tanong na yun. Or maybe the WrestleMania match for Alpha Academy is basically they're split up as a tag team. Hindi lang sure ako. Then, Chad Gable will rise as solo competitor. And that will be great for him as a diverse superstar who can make people laugh, who can make people pissed, and at the same time impressive competitor, right? Then, final story of our WWE talk this week. Pero Asuka put her first shot on Bianca Belair. Ayun, umatake na siya kay Bianca for the first time. It's not a heel turn, but it's an attack. What's my rating on that? Meh. That was stupid. I think. That was meh. Sorry about that. I'm still confused on Asuka's role as of today. As of today, I'm still confused. I want to see a better Asuka at this point. Not this Asuka. I'm still disgusted on this Asuka right now. Then, ayun. Regardless on that, we're gonna get a banger match for WrestleMania between Asuka and Bianca Belair. But the build itself says otherwise. No? But yeah, it's gonna be good for WrestleMania if ma-official man siya anytime soon. So yeah, we're going to take a short break on our podcast. When we come back, we're going to talk about NXT and eventually AEW. When we come back, let's check our bunk mates on Bunk Collect.
Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice, DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Picture this. Two guys talking about true crime,
Weird mysteries,
horror stories,
but the conversation is light.
and mostly funny.
And sometimes naughty.
This is Scriptsalog.
A Spotify exclusive.
I'm Gideon.
And I'm Glenn, and we're serving huge portions of horror and true crime twice a week.
We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied.
And you'll be begging for more.
Char.
Check us out.
This is Scriptsalog, available exclusively on Spotify.
Ayun, we're back on the podcast. Like what I said, I hope y'all are following the podcast on all of the social media platforms at the MTA Show Pod. And then, ano pa ba? Follow us on our, pa ba? Nakalimutan ko. Yung Bunk Collective social media at the Bunk PH. And join our Patreon, patreon.com/the MTA Show Pod. We're going to update our Patreon tiers as well in coming weeks kasi medyo declining na yung ating $1 tier. Siguro kailangan na natin siya i-update. I-update ko na siya. As soon as April 1, mag-update tayo ng tiers for our para lang in time of WrestleMania, mag-update tayo ng tiers for our Patreon subscribers. Then yun. So, let's talk about NXT now. So, yung NXT this week was opened by Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker versus Pretty Deadly in a segment. So, given naman na mangyayari siya thanks to the promo or the assault to Pretty Deadly, the hosts of NXT Stand and Deliver. Then, they set a match, tag team match for later on. And I can't believe they're still dealing with this. They can't consist. They can coexist bullshit. Like, come on, man. I hate this idea of coexisting. This is just stupid at this point. Man. I don't like this idea. No. In storylines in general, in pro wrestling, yung mga storylines na ganito, yung mga nagko-coexist, tapos mag-i-exist ulit. Para kayong para kayong jowang nag-aaway, tapos magbabalikan ulit. Ganun yung nangyayari sa story na to right now. And I hate it. Regardless, Melo and Bron Breakker going to give us a pretty good match for going to give us a pretty good match for WrestleMania Style to Deliver. But well, yun. Then we have 2 more members for the ladder match at NXT Style to Deliver. So, Tiffany Stratton defeated Indy Hartwell. Lyra Valkyria defeated Ivy Nile on another match. Then, Lyra Valkyria. Tama. Sabi ko naman. Then, yung isa pang slot will be determined on next week's NXT between Sol Ruca, Indy Hartwell, and Ivy Nile. So, it's a 5-way ladder match. And Roxanne Perez apparently is still not cleared to compete for Style and Deliver. We don't know what's their statement now. Pero siguro, magli-lead lang talaga to sa isang ladder match at some point. Maybe on a May special ng NXT. Siguro ganun lang. Ganun lang yung nakikita ko for now. Kasi hindi man sobrang lala nung injury ni Roxanne. Ginagawa na lang talaga nilang storyline to. For them din. Advantage din nila. Naalala mo yung kay Shawn Michaels and Diesel when they I think it's Razor Ramon or Diesel, whatever. When they unified the Intercontinental titles at WrestleMania. So, ganun yung mangyayari dito. Then, so, Wesley revealed his ladder match na naman. Personally, mas gusto ko to the ladder match. Speaking of, Wesley revealed his challengers for the North American title at Stand and Deliver. First is Dragon Lee. No, handpick niya yun. Then, JD McDonough. Tapos, si Ilya Dragunov. Na natapos sa no contest na dapat paglalabanan ata nila. Silent contenders match. But well, then, the 5th one will be revealed in a Battle Royale which will take place next week on NXT. I hope it's Jinder Mahal winning this Battle Royale. Or, hindi, ayoko kay Dijak, ayoko din kay Mid Wagner. Kay Von Wagner. Man. I'm still, I don't have my faith on Von Wagner at this point. Sana Jinder. Jinder yung safe choice ko. O kaya si Tabakito. Pero, yeah, gender. Tapos, so, Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller agreed for a unsanctioned match at Stand and Deliver. But the problem is Grayson Waller will sign the contract without Johnny Gargano on the building. It's weird to see this build na walang interaction. Yes, it's personal. Pero ang weird kasi wala silang interaction 1 week before the match. Ang weird para sa akin lang. Ang weird lang. Ewan ko sa inyo kung weird din. Pero, yeah, it's weird. Then, so we have Schism and Chase U and Tyler Bate in a debate. This debate as a whole was a fun debate. Like si Duke Hudson, he declined to join the debate. Ewan ko kung ito ba ay sign na din na magto-turn siya on the Chase U or hindi na lang talaga trip magganon. Parang siya yung bobo sa klase pero personal pa din. Parang ganun yung nangyari. So then the match was settled in a 8-man tag will take place at Stand and Deliver as well. With the winning team will control Chase U. And I don't think Chase U will win this. Even Tyler Bate. There's Tyler Bate, but I don't think he will win at this point. Tyler Bate is there as a moderator now or as the fourth member of the team. But he didn't said na mag-join siya sa Chase U. If he did, then good. Then finally the main event. Pretty Deadly versus Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, that was a fun match. But I don't really expect from this main event. Aside from Braun Breaker retaining at Stand and Deliver. But yeah, that was fun. That was a fun episode of NXT this week. Let's go to some segments pa of outside of the 3 events, no? 3 companies. Let's start with MLW Underground. So I want to thank Alex Hammerstone first for acknowledging my tweet on Twitter. Saan ba mag-tweet? Mag-tweet pa kami sa Facebook. Okay, so the MLW Underground title match between Alex Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu for the MLW heavyweight title was amazing as fuck. I'm going to recommend this right now because the match was great. Unfortunately for the TV viewers or to me, napanood natin siya with commercials. I wish MLW at some point they're going to release uncut version of this match. Because medyo bitin siya sa akin. Like, there's 3 commercials in between of that match. And hindi siya it's not that bad. Pero I'm going to say this, that was a fantastic match. Like, sobrang impressive. It needs a big arena for both of them at some point. Sana magkaroon din sila ng big arena match at some point. Maybe in the AEW or Impact Arena, then that will be great for both of them. Right? Then, also to add that Andy Kaufman ba o Kaufman? Regardless, Andy Kaufman, a celebrity who joined Jerry Lawler at some point in a WWF segment, will be inducted to the Hall of Fame class of 2023. He joins Rey Mysterio and the Great Muta for the inductees for this year. Hindi ko napanood o nabutan si Andy dito. But I want to congratulate him for his induction. But, well, he deserves it. Siya yung celebrity na alam ko deserve niya yung induction. On first glance. Kasi may history siya sa wrestling natin sa WWF or WWE. So I'm good with him being inducted to the Hall of Fame. According to reports, walang tag team induction this year. According to our sources, walang tag team induction for this year's Hall of Fame. Most likely tomorrow they're going to reveal the final inductee. And it's a woman. Stacy Keibler, di pa rin siya sure kung siya na nga. Pero I wish she is. Yan. Finally, we have MLW. MLW, I'm done with this. So, MWF Republica is set for April 30, 2023 at the Power Mac Spotlight in Makati City Circuit. Gusto ko sana pumunta, kaso sold out na yung ringside. So, I'll try my best to get an ad siguro by April 15. Yan, kukuha tayong gen ad sa circuit for the show. Sana makakuha tayo ng seat kung sold out na. Early on April 15, kung mas maaga sa April 15 ma-sold out, then so be it. Hindi tayo makapanood, no choice. Yan. The match, meanwhile, was made official. Tajiri will fight Jomar Liwanag in a match na I think is gonna be good regardless on their characters. And man, malaking karangalan sana na makita si Tajiri pero sold out na. Sana makakuha pa rin ako ng tickets. I'm going to do everything just to get tickets for this show. And I'll be there for sure for this match sa event na ito. I swear, I need to be there and kailangan ko maging part of that history at this point. Then, ito na nga. So, diretso na nga natin sa Dynamite. We have Dynamite. So, Young Bucks was attacked by Blackpool Combat Club? We don't know. But, yeah, I'm not sure if Young Bucks na kayo umatake or BCC na yung umatake sa Young Bucks. Let's see in the coming weeks. Hindi naman siya na-explain on TV this week di ba? Na justify lang dahil inatake din ng BCC si Kenny after of the match. Then, the Guns defeated Top Flight to retain the AEW tag titles. Then, FTR returned for the first time facing off the Guns. Sanay na ako sa Us Boys. Pero we're trying to be professional as well as possible. Then, ayun na nga. So, FTR faced off with Top Flight and the Guns. And FTR asked for the title shots. And the Guns first said no. Then, when when FTR said that if they lose. Yeah. If they lose the title match to the Guns, they're going to leave AEW. Well, according to our sources, FTR is signed with AEW long term. Pero di natin alam, everything is possible at this point. Then yun. Some notes from this week's episode. The Hook versus Stokely Hathaway was stupid. Then Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia is set for next week's Dynamite. I wish this match or this feud is a one-time off. Kung hindi po, tangin disaster naman to. JS versus Adam Cole. I don't want to see that shit. Then, ito. So, we got John Moxley and Stu Grayson. I'm fine. I'm good with that. The match. Then, the Outcasts. Guys, kailangan pa ba magsalita about Outcasts? I don't think, at this point, wala na akong faith sa Outcast. It's hard to watch at this point. No? Hindi siya ganong impressive gaya ng mga unang episode. And my eyes are just folding when I see those punks at this point. Then finally, so Kenny Omega versus Vikingo. And the main event of Dynamite was amazing. Holy shit. You need to watch that match. I swear, kung hindi ko pick up the week yung kina Hammerstone, probably ito na rin yung isang ko pang pick up the week. magde-debate pa ako kung ano yung magiging pick of the week ko Pero let's see kung ano yung magiging pick of the week ko. But the match was amazing. Vikingo delivered as usual. And yeah, that was a banger. I swear to God, you need to watch that match as soon as possible kasi you will need it. Kailangan mo yun, for sure. Then ito, final rumor of the week. I-TikTok natin ito. So, may rumors right now. Again, this is rumors that Triple H is going to retire the undisputed Universal title in favor of returning the big gold belt, and the WWE Championship will be still intact. Ito I'm going to say this. Sinasabi ko na to a lot of times dito sa podcast or off-air. Sinasabi ko na to almost every time. Hindi ako fan ng pagre-retire ng belts just because of nostalgia. No? Pero ito if belt pala ni Triple H yun, then it's a Triple H era. Let's stay on that era. Move on. Parang ano lang yan parang tawa ba dito? Kailangan natin mag-evolve. Yung mga belts na ganyan, ini-stay na lang yan sa era. Ayun. So, kung i-return nila yung big gold belt, then, ano pa ba? Parang unang naisip ng fans is WCW. I know we have history with WCW. Then, the WWE. May history din yung belt na yun doon. Pero it doesn't mean na kailangan siya i-insert right now on the current history of the championships. Hindi siya kailangan. At lalong hindi rin siya kailangan. We're fine with the Universal. We're fine with the current belt. However, if ako magpipitch ng idea na gusto nila mag-retouch ng mga belts, ganito. Alam niyo yung gold design sa WWE title ni Snoop Dogg ngayon? Sana yung ganong kulay, yun na lang ang ilagay sa current WWE Championship. Pucha, ang ganda nung pagka-gold ng belt na yun. Tapos yung current belt, sobrang pangit ngayon. Parang siyang bronze na hindi mapaliwanag yung kulay. Sana ganun na lang yung kulay ng WWE Championship para mabagay man siya sa mga current belts right now. Like AEW title, the current Impact Digital Media Championship, the old TNA Heavyweight title, and yung ano ba? Yung Big Gold Belt. Basically, parang inspired na yung design sa Big Gold Belt without even retiring the Universal Championship. Kumbaga, we need to evolve. Wrestling is evolving. We don't need nostalgia shit para lang ma-please kayo. We don't need restoring some shit bouts like that. I'm a fan of ruthless aggression. I love the World Heavyweight title. It will always be the top belt for me. But it doesn't make sense to restore the belt that I love the most. It doesn't make sense anymore to the company that I think we love the most right now. Right? Simple. We don't need nostalgia acts at this point. I-evolve na lang sana ng company yung sarili nilang belts that they have right now. And to add, alisin na rin yung unification. It's time to remove the unification of the belts. Sobrang long overdue na nun. Kailangan na natin tanggalin yung unification of the belts. And yeah. Yun lang. That's it for me on this week's episode of the podcast. Ang ikli pala dito. Napa-one ad lang pala tayo. So, ayan. Let's do our picks of the week from last week's episode of the podcast. First, it was Kevin Owens. Kasi munti ka na munti ka na talaga. Munti ka na talagang hindi ko piliin si Keo. But I'm glad na he saved the day for me. Naging pulis. Di naman siya naging pulis patawala. Pero I think Keo impressed me on this week. Then, the Woman of the Week, Masha Slamovich. She won the GCW title from Nick Gage. Then, she won a title match against Speedball Mike Bailey. That was amazing. Speaking of Speedball Mike Bailey, that's my match of the week from Worst Behavior GCW event. You can watch it on Fight if you want to watch it on Fight TV. Plus, $7 lang yung subscription doon. You can watch it on demand. You can watch the upcoming GCW events as well on Fight TV Plus. Yun lang. So, for me, on the podcast, mag-extra na tayo kasi next week is gonna be huge for our podcast as we discuss WrestleMania, Stand and Deliver, Supercard of Honor. And then, yung Multiverse United, we're going to discuss that and more on next week's podcast right here on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast, the rest of the podcast platforms. And Friday, I think it's time na rin na i-drop din yun sa YouTube, no? If you figure out ko na lang kung paano ko madadrop yung episode sa YouTube as well within this week. Next week din, no? Mag-start na tayo sa YouTube siguro this week. Testing natin kung paano mag-workout in our favor yung YouTube videos. No? If you figure out ko nga off-air kung paano ko i-drop yon sa YouTube. No? Then, ayan. So, that's it for our episode this week on the podcast. Follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and don't forget our YouTube channel at the MTG Show Pod. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at the MTG Show Pod. Press the bell, subscribe, then like and comment on our YouTube videos, of course, kung may lalabas tayo. Siguro next episode na to, i-up ko na rin to sa YouTube at some point. Right? Then, yun nga. So, our Patreon program or Patreon paywall is still up for this week. Yun. So, as low as $2 a month, you can access to our subscriber-only content after WrestleMania. We're going to load that with a lot of wrestling content for upcoming WrestleMania. Nagde-decide pa ako kung babaguhin ko na yung price tier ng ating Patreon. So, yeah, it's gonna be good regardless on that. Nagagalaw ko naman yung mic ko. Then ayun, so subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/thempshowpod. Then, as low as $2 a month, you can access to our subscriber-only content, reviews, thoughts, reactions, opinions on our Patreon, patreon.com/themtgshowpod. Also, ganknow.com/thempshowpod. As low as $2 a month as well, you can access to our exclusive only content for Gank. Yeah. Then, more to come really soon. The more podcasts, visit the Bunk Collective website, thebunkph.com. You can join our discussion as well at the Bunk PH on all of the socials. Then ayun, join our Discord server. Discord, nasa baba na ng ating episode on our description. The episode is on our description, yung ating Discord community, and yung ating Discord for Bunk Collective as well. Then, of course, listen to the podcast every Fridays on all of the social media platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and please, pakirate din ng ating podcast 5 stars, 6 and Tokyo Dome. Also, our app is available on Google Play Store. You can download that and then you can listen to the podcast anytime, anywhere as well. Of course, all of the links that we mentioned right now is also available on our linktr, linktr.ee/the MTG Show Podcast. And available din ulit yung ating podcast. Then ayun, follow the podcast on all of the socials. Ayun, at the MTG Show Pod. Yun. Twitter, Instagram, at AGP na yan na personal social, and I'll post personal thoughts or opinions na hindi ko naman kailangan i-share pa sa aking podcast kasi I want to save it on my shit. Then ayun, Patreon. Patreon.com/ at the NBA Show Pod. Please support our local scene. April 30 is MWF Republica between Tajiri and Jacob Pato. Tajiri and Jomar Liwanag. The match itself is set for April 30. If di nyo mapapanood na live, the matches will be uploaded on ganknow.com/Manila Wrestling Fed or ManilaWrestling.com. Also, FPW tapings is upcoming this Sunday at Power Mac Center and Spotlight Makati. You can check on all of their social media platforms respectively for the ticketing prices and everything related MWF and FPW. Also catch WrestleMania 39 on April 2 and April 3 at 8 a.m. Manila time exclusively on Disney Plus Philippines. Yon. So you can catch the exclusive broadcast of WrestleMania exclusively on Disney Plus Philippines. Wala tayong kailangan na reklamo doon. Sana maayos na rin yung feed come WrestleMania at saka yung pagpuputol na sana maayos na. Yeah, that's it for our episode this week on the podcast. Stay safe, stay reso. See ya at WrestleMania. See ya next week for our supersized podcast predictions for the podcast. Goodbye.